Hi, everyone. Welcome to CCSF today. We're going to do a full practice of T'ai Chi Chih, 19 movements in one pose, which is this chart here. But we'll precede it with some Qigong warm-ups and some circular movements. So we're going to be standing right now. You'll have your water nearby, a chair if you need it. Otherwise, we're going to stand for our warm-up. Triple burner. Inhaling, coming through 3 dantians, your head, your heart and lungs, and your abdomen. Inhaling energy up from the earth towards the heavens and exhaling it down towards the earth through those 3 energy centers we call dantians. Really breathe in, feel that breath. Sometimes it's hard to start with the Qigong breath, but easy to start with the breath where you funnel the lips. Breathe it in and then breathe it out the same way, especially when you're in a room by yourself with no mask. That way your body gets a full sense of this breath. And then as you exhale it down, you're bringing that energy through all the way, those 3 energy centers, and it moves towards your feet. And we really want that because we want to connect the low dantian with the feet. And the breath is at the belly here where we started. And as we started, we expanded the belly. As we contract coming down on the exhale, the belly moves in with the help of the abdominal muscles, and the energy moves to the Ming Men, which is the low spine. So we almost always start the triple burner in this class, either seated or standing, but today is going to be standing. We'll start up here now with the fingertips above the shoulders, the elbows just about in what we call cactus position. And we're going to release down on the exhale. Come up through the central meridian on the inhale, palms are up. Turn the palms over and push something into the sky. Exhale there and feel that slow exhale down all the way. We've been calling this Buddha picks up the earth and pushes it into the sky. It's a beautiful, very old Qigong move. Each one of these moves can be done for your warm-up at least 6 to 9 times. I like the number 9 because it's the number we go to when we finally get warmed up in T'ai Chi Chih. 9 was the noble Chinese number in numerology. So I think it's fun that we respect that. A tradition. One more of these. Buddha picks up the earth and sends it into the sky. Peripheral vision is involved, breath, and a sense of a long exhale coming into a grounding here for a moment. You've had your feet in rider on horse position, which feels like the horse is underneath, and you're going to tap the heels. And now stand really tall and shift forward and back with a kind of more of a straightness here, coming towards the balls of the feet, lifting the heels, coming back, lifting the toes, and feeling that. That's what we'll find when we get to rocking motion in T'ai Chi Chih. We'll find this figure 8, infinity symbol, and we'll find this sense of bringing the weight forward towards me and back towards your heels, where the toes will lift. So one more of the rocking motion, because after all, it's under the umbrella of Qigong. Our next experiment for the Qigong warm-up will be our weight shift. So placing your hands on your hips, feet in your rider on horse position, maybe a little bit wider here, and just shifting your whole body to your right and then towards your left, lengthening through the spine. Hi, everybody. See you coming in. Great to see you. Pretend we're all together in the same room. But this is better because we don't have masks and hey, you're in your own space and make noise or whatever. But make sure you've got your water nearby. All right. So there's your side-to-side weight shift. Now, making it into a front-back weight shift, shift towards this side, your right. And out of that rider on horse position, just establish that this back foot's already 45-degree angle of what's going to be the front. And now start bending the front knee. And when that happens, the back leg will straighten and the heel will come up. Come back, the back leg will bend and the front leg will straighten. That's called, by Justin Stone, Americanized in 1974, yinning and yanning. It's the sense of moving forward here. This foot becomes yan, and the other leg is yin, feminine. And we come back, the other leg transforms to masculine, and the front leg is straight. And masculine and feminine is simply a way of saying, we have lots of opposites, and we're going to put them together in equity. So send it forward and send it back. Good. Let's bring that foot back. Come back to your open V position. Shift over towards your left and release your right heel. Maybe clasp the hands behind the back, just for a little difference here, because you want to keep the shoulders open, this whole chest open. And come forward, straightening the back leg, bending the front knee a little bit, and back. And one more. Good. Let's inhale and exhale. The other basic weight shift that we have, I'm just including that in my Qigong warm-up today, is for the bird flaps its wings, is when you come down with your feet in a V like this, with the heels slightly open. And you inhale first. When you inhale, you're going to lengthen. When you exhale, you're going to release. And the heels will come up because you brought the weight towards the front. Come back up to inhale. Inhaling, you're on every point of the foot, all three of each foot. Exhaling, you're only on the front two, the two sides of the front ball of the foot. Come back. And one more. And the third one, we always do a wrist circle here because it's the bird flapping its wings. And beyond that, I think you can pretty much scope after working with me for a while, how all this is going to work. Just watching your shift, that you feel one leg bend, one leg straighten, and then the other leg takes over. We do everything perhaps 9 times on one side, 9 times on the other side, with a single grounding in the middle, which looks like this. And sometimes at the end of the right leg, coming forward and back 9 times, we do a double grounding, which takes us from the low dantian to the middle dantian, heart and lungs. And sometimes when we need to really ground, we go higher, we go to the head. Because that seems to bring joy into the practice. And from a Qigong standpoint, or a Taoist standpoint, that's because we're moving towards the heavens or the sky and back down to the earth. We're connecting heaven and earth, or sky and earth. So that always feels very, very joyous when you get up there. Bringing joy to the body, mind, and spirit. Let's move on now to pick up a feather on one side and release the other heel. This leg is going to straighten. This rib cage is going to open. Sink it down. Shift to the other leg. Good. And see, one of you at least I can see seated, and that's great. I've done this many times seated. Even in airports where everybody looks at you like you're crazy. Who cares? Take it with you. It's portable. Beautiful. So we've already stretched out each leg. We've opened up the rib cage on each side. And this is picking up a feather and letting it go. Now we want to open laterally. We want to feel our side-to-side expansion so we can really feel a full expansion of our rib cage, and an exhale back that will make it smaller while we stay in long alignment. So this is your inhale, your expansion. This is your exhale, your contraction. I hadn't thought about how stripes would show this, but it actually does. Expand, contract. Expand, big breath, contract, exhale. The exhale will take care of the stripes and sink it down through the earth. And now take in a breath that takes you to the heart and lungs. That much expands now. And sink it down again on your exhale. And the stripes seem to come more together. Very interesting. Actually, experiment in visual portrayal. All right. So our next one is going to be moving to the head and neck, shoulders, arms in a T, wrists knocking at the gates, hip circles, and knee circles. All right. So here we go with the head circles. Dropping the head down, we're going to circle down, clasp the hands behind, keeping the shoulders down, and moving the head to one side, the right, possibly, up and around, and back to the left. In an oval, so that this ear is over this shoulder, comes up and back and over to the other shoulder with the ear here. So it's a little more than a circle, somehow broader than that. And 3 is probably good. If you do have trouble with your shoulders, you can also lift them and back. And that'll hold the head in place as you move the head back. And going to the other side, bring the chin to the chest and come to your left and around. In an oval. You want to, if possible, keep the shoulders down if you're able to do that comfortably. If anything today that we do doesn't feel good to you, just sit it out and watch. And your body will tell you when you're ready to start again. All right, so that was our head circles. Now we're next going to come to our shoulders, bringing the fingertips right inside of the shoulders here, and circling the elbows, wrists, fingers around in a circle. Forward, up, back, down. That back down's really very important because you want to feel the shoulder blades roll down the back. That definitely releases a lot of tension that we tend to hold there. And now coming back down here, bring them up, overhead, over the shoulders there and down. And this, as you can tell, contracts the chest. So now we'll end this little experiment by going up, back, where we've opened the chest. Up, back, forward, and down. Actually, I guess it's mostly back and down, right? And this one is forward and down. Yeah. And you need to be able to get that fluidity with the shoulders, so they're both important. All right. Now our next one is arms in a T. And you're going to circle the whole arm forward. I like to think that it doesn't have to be very high here. It's just going to be somewhat at my shoulder height. And that's enough. Making sure the elbows do not lock. And then take it the opposite direction. Back like you're lying on your back, floating in water. Don't we wish that was warm? All right. Good. Our next one is wrists. So elbows come close to the body, but not touching. And just feel the wrist start. Wrist circles really start with the elbow and move down through the whole forearm. But we can isolate them if we bring the elbows in here and just make circles like that. And then the opposite direction, back. Good. And we're just, in a sense, isolating joints, but we don't have to. This is something I haven't done for a while. This is the air guitar. You're going to play the guitar all the way up like that, or some kind of string instrument. And you'll start over on this side, over on your right side. And come over here and let the back heel lift. Come back down. It's a little bit of a spinal twist. So then the back heel here lifts. Let it go because you're straightening that back leg. Let it go, straighten the back of the other leg. Good, and then come back to center and we'll ground briefly and start from the other side. So you're going to start from this left side now. First, twist with your rider on horse position, twist, and then you're going to come up this way. And back down, moving those fingers like you're fluttering them like a butterfly. Flutter like a butterfly all the way up. Great. So we're just now opening the digits. Good, and we'll come back to center as soon as you're ready. Sink it into the earth. Hip circles are next. Make sure you've got enough width here so that you can drop down a little bit and then bring the hips forward, side. How about going to your right side, back, and to your left side? You might hold your tummy to make sure that this circle is happening. And then when you get forward to the front, then go the opposite way, to the left and around. And that's really a great warm-up for the connection between your low back and your hips and buttocks. Good, come back to standing. Lengthen through your spine. Bend, holding on to your hip bones here. Bend from the waist. Flat back. Now round the back and release. You'll end up probably touching your toes. Come back up with the space between your toes and your body. And we'll do that again. But this time, let's bring the hands overhead. Fold forward from the hips and come all the way down, touching the toes or outside the toes. Inhale back up. Think of yourself as a fountain. There you are, wide open, lots of water coming out of this top spout, and you're going to send it all the way down towards the earth. Come back up again. And sink it down again. One more. And now just release the hands down to the sides. Come into mountain pose, standing like a mountain. And then to make sure that we do bring the knees together and circle them, let's come down from there, folding forward from the hips, take hold of with a flat back, take hold of the knees and circle to the right and around. Good, stay centered in the middle here. Wait a second, and then go to the left and around. Maintain a fairly small circle. Good, now we'll stand up again really tall. Come back to mountain, and we'll be ready to start Tai Chi Chih. 19 movements and one pose. If possible, 9 times on a side today. But we'll start with rocking motion and then bird flaps its wings, which will warm us up. Sinking and rising. Rocking motion. Exhale as you move back. Inhale as you move towards me and come to the balls of the feet. Feel your inherent infinity symbol of the figure 8 here. As you send the energy back down towards the earth and pick it up with your circling of the wrists. And take it back down again. Bringing the energy towards all those wonderful acupressure points at the feet. And through the knees, which somehow take the energy as they bend in the center and straighten without locking. In the front and in the back. So because this is a warm-up, this one beginning move here, we can do it any number of times. Historically, it's been any multiple of 9. We'll end it now, sink it through the earth. Feel how our fingers and palms already have quite a bit of chi in them, or energy. Bring the heels somewhat close together, but not locking. Lengthen. Inhale here at the abdomen. And sink. And rise. 3 times. Now on the 3rd sink, 1 wrist circle forward. And inhale to rise. 2nd set. Bird flaps. It swings. You want to be able to start thinking really slowly. The mind will follow the body. Last one, a bird flaps its wings. Return to ground. Inhale here and exhale down. Preparing for our first forward back shift. Around the platter, shift towards your right to bring the left forward. This circle we're making is part of the circularity part of our practice. We just explored the sinking and rising. And now the palms are moving through the center and returning to the heart. Inhaling here, this part of the circle, and starting your exhale back towards the back leg or the heart, just in the center of that circle in front. So we begin to connect your soft breathing, extending it to be able to feel that this is a long, slow inhale and a long, slow exhale as it moves around towards the heart and then inhales again. Two more on your left. Last one. Bring the foot in. Single grounding between sides. Shift over towards your left to allow this leg to become yan or substantial. The knee bends a little bit. And release the yin leg forward, straight leg. And now we start on that side. Outside, pictorially outside that knee, that's forward, moving this circle to the opposite direction. In chest high water. Last one. Inhale that leg back. Connect that to your grounding, that inhale, and then this is your long exhale as the palms rest on globes of energy right opposite this low dantian. And shift over towards the right to bring the left forward once again for the variation of around the platter, which is this one, picking up a ball of energy with an inhale, sinking it in the center, sending the energy to the back foot. Feel it, even if you can't see your back foot. Feel it reach the toes. You might want to feel that the heel of the hand stays level on your platter, even as the fingertips rise. Last one of around the platter variation on your left side. Sink that left leg back. Ground it. Shift the energy towards this left side, releasing your right heel for around the platter variation, right side, picking up the ball of energy right here, right in front of that right shoulder on the inhale, and then sinking the energy, leveling off on the water with the heel of your hand. This is the heel right here. So when you drop the fingers, the heel of the hand stays where it was back here. It doesn't drop down. Beautiful. So I think the area of technique, like the technique of dropping this, making sure the heel of the hand is level, is a point of focus for us. And since this is a moving meditation we're doing, those points, once we think about them, add a lot to our practice. A lot of focus and good energy. And then you can take all that to your real life outside of the practice. It's all a spin-off of one thing to the next with good results. Last one. Bring the foot back in to your rider on horse position. Sink the energy down a couple of times now, because those are really, once we get so we can really feel them, those are pretty important beginning moves. And now we move into bass drum, which connects us in a different way to our energy. Shift right here. Here's your bass drum. Release that left heel, and moving forward, feel the whole roundness of this drum, as if you were outside of it with your fingers, but your body's on the inside. Inhale it and sink it slowly in a circle through your body, as if you're massaging the energy around you in a circle. This is where your breath becomes so important, when it coordinates to the mind and the body. Because those left and right hemispheres of the brain are also taking this in, and they're relaxing you and me. This practice should create the relaxation response that everyone talks about. But I hope we can all begin to incorporate in this practice. Last one on your left, a bass drum. Feel the circularity in a big way in this particular move. Sink it through the earth. Shift it towards your left side. Prepare your drum. Prepare your right heel. The toes up in front. You've got a straight leg. You've got a bent leg and back. and move your drum in a circle that encircles you. You might even feel, in a Reiki way, that this energy up here is coming right through you, even though the palms are outside the head. Good. And feel the forward back nature as you come forward towards me. And then we all move back together. Three more of bass drum. Good. Last one. Draw that leg back. Both legs are now preparing to ground together. Your feet are back into their rider on horse position, which is an open V in many ways, with the toes moving out this way, but not too far. You just be able to use that 45-degree angle of both feet depending on what's happening next, which is daughter on the mountaintop. So now your left leg, you're going to shift towards your right. Bring your left heel forward for daughter on the mountaintop. With your left hand and mine close to our hearts, thinking of all the mountains we've climbed through our long lives already. With joy that there's always another mountain to climb here. 9 on each side. Last one on your left in terms of the leg that's forward. And now bring that leg back. Inhale and release that energy through the earth, preparing for daughter on the mountaintop. On your right side, shifting left. And you might find that you get your leg too far back there, so then you can just fix it. That just happened to me. So, you shift in a way that works for you. The length of that shift is important, enough so that you can feel the back heel lift and then the front toe lift. But it does it on its own. But not so long that the upper body will move over that knee, ever. And one more, as we've climbed 2 mountains on each side of this valley, we're going to now come through in daughter in the valley. We just came through the central trail. And now we ground it through the earth. Let's double ground it. Such a beautiful idea and beautiful move. And shift towards your right to start with the left. Daughter in the valley comes through the central valley On the inhale, the palms are in polarity. They're connected by the center of the palms. And we actually cultivate the chi there, or energy between them. If you breathe in here, and then feel this come over the mountains that are on both sides of you on the exhale. To me, these moves stimulate the artist that's in all of us, the sense of discovery of what's at the top of the mountains and climbing up through the Central Trail, where in California, you might see banana slugs in spring climbing up the gorgeously yellow, the wetness of the bark, huckleberries soon. So many things as we go up to the tops of those mountains through the valley. And last one of Daughter in the Valley on your left. Sink the energy through the earth. Shift it towards your left. Prepare for Daughter in the Valley on your right side. Palms are right at chest high level, but the fingertips are above, because we're looking over the mountains. And we're going to come through the valley on your right side. And watch the back foot. Make sure it's 45-degree angle to the front. I guess watch is a bad word. It's more feel it. Last one of Daughter in the Valley. Enjoy taking the breath in here and sinking that move through the earth for what it means. I always think it has to do with the generations of birth mothers that we're all connected to. Because it's daughter on the mountaintop and daughter in the valley. Who's the daughter and who's the mother? It's all very interesting. All right, so we've done those two, and now we come to our next one, which is over here. And this is carrying the ball to the side. So we come into our sinking down, picking up the ball right at the shoulder's height here, and sending the energy through this substantial leg over here, your right, releasing your left, and carrying the ball to the side as it moves in a circle in front of you, circularity once again. And then you bring in that outside yin leg, sink it both legs into the earth. And in that sinking position, pick up the ball again. Make sure you lengthen through the spine. And feel the wrists release here. Nice. Sink it down. Wind up. This is the third of three. Sink it down. Beautiful. Wind up. We're going back the other way. Release that outside leg, yin leg. And now send the energy to the other leg so that we get this good yin-yang effect here. So you all know that your knees are released through that, and then you lengthen to stand, right? And one more here, sink first. And now we're going to go back. Sink, inhale, release the yin leg, move towards it to make it yang. And feel that transition as each leg changes. And you sink. Good. Here you rise to inhale, and here you sink. Beautiful. Very nice. Push pull is next. Another forward back weight shift. This one is a little different because it starts with an exhale. And it's because you're making a circle of pushing. From here, you exhale here in a circle. And as the circle moves out, the fingertips move up to make the circle. And then the wrists themselves turn that circle back to your heart. So it's very interesting in that way because the elbows not locked allow this to happen. If they locked, we'd be stuck there. We don't lock any joints. So a good time to really feel the sense of a circle here. It's going to return to your heart on the inhale, and then it'll push out on the exhale. And that's when we'll be doing our forward back shift. Okay, here we go. The forward shift will be an exhale. So inhale first. Oops, I just made a mistake. So push and then bring the fingertips up and then circle to you. People do this different ways, but this was our most recent California change that we did. When the teachers worked together, they said, why not this? And it made sense to me. Last one of push-pull on your left side. Beautiful. Good. Now we're going to subtly shift towards your left side. You can feel the whole weight moving over here, right? Then release your right heel. Inhale first before you start your push-pull. And come towards me on your exhale. And away from me on your inhale. Beautiful. Nice. Amazing what we can do on Zoom. I'll do these last three slowly. Last one. Lovely. Really good. Inhale and release. And definitely double ground it. The next pose was originally a companion pose to this. And through the various transfers of Tai Chi Chih, new practitioners, it changed. But these two were connected. This is pulling in the energy from the farthest star in the universe. Because possibly the palms are up here, it's still highly energetic in its own slow way. But you've added a visualization, which is pulling in the energy from the farthest star in the universe through your fingertips. And you really want to make a wish here, right? Or an intention. What would you change in your life? Take it in from the farthest star on the inhale. And notice the circle that we're making. Here's the inhale. And halfway around, we exhale towards the back toes. You can feel that, even if you can't see it. Make that connection between fingers and toes. Let's do two more here. Make sure it's a real circle that moves towards me and then away from me. Beautiful. Bring the foot in. Sink it through the earth. Shift laterally to your left. Release the right. Prepare the palms facing up, right at chest level, just where the water was, for around the platter, only it's now with the fingertips up and the palms looking up, asking for help from the most distant star. Bring that energy in through your fingertips and your palms to your heart. Two more. Last one. Inhale and sink it into the earth on your exhalation. Feel it in your feet as it moves down. Let's double ground it. And now we move into the tathies next. So right here, when we get to this point, we always have some water first. Thank you all for coming today. We're not done yet. All right. So now we come to our delightful tathies. There's 4 of them, and we begin with the basic, and then we have 3 variations. The basic tathi is the sense of bringing the energy between the palms, and it feels as if you're coming through heavy air. And at the same time, there's a very slow weight shift that connects all that energy moving through the palms. So make sure that you feel length in your spine, that when you drop down, you're going to drop down with the sense that your tailbone is not sticking out, but it's underneath. And that way you'll be pretty safe. So here, if you pull the tathi this way, rather than that way, yeah, you don't want to do that at all. So keep the spine from the Ming Men all the way to the crown of the head, one long unit. Basic tathi. Feel the sinking and rising. Great, I'm seeing it. Sinking and rise to inhale. Sink to ground, and then go from there. Move like an animal, like you know, some of those wonderful pictures you see of animals moving through heavy grass. Always feels a little bit like that to me. They can move so slowly and connect through all their limbs. So Qigong is actually based on that concept of how people watched animals to see how they move, how they were in nature, and watched a caterpillar move or a centipede or whatever it was. So we're moving really slowly here. Probably could even be slower. That was 4. Sometimes I move beyond 9 just simply because I want to illustrate something, but more likely that I always want to return home base, which is over here by the chart. So we're going to end this here. Basic tathi comes to a graceful conclusion. Sink it through the earth, double time. So we really feel the grounding today. And now we're going to shift the right leg forward and pull the tathi. Lengthen to inhale, sink to ground, and then pull the tathi to the side. This is anchor tathi, and the back foot will be now your right. And then you move to the side. When you get here and you've totally felt that yin leg draw in, then you inhale to sink. And then that leg's going to come forward. It'll be your right. The right hand will be underneath the elbow when it opens up here. It brings your hips out squarely, and then you ground again. Then you move across. And the hand underneath the elbow is called the invite hand. It's invited you that direction. It's a good way to remember where you're going. It's going to invite us over there. It's your left hand now. This is anchor taffy. One leg will always stay back and be grounded and not move. And then pull in when it gets to the side to side. And that's like the anchor moving in to the boat again. Right here. And then that leg that was the anchor comes forward. The taffy is the sticky feeling of that heavy air between the palms. And it starts right when one hand comes under the elbow and the hands pull apart. And we'll make the next one the last one. So now your left leg's going to move forward. Your left hand will be under. Hold the taffy. Inhale to sink, and then you're going to exhale. And shift it towards your left. And we'll sink now. This will be the last one. Good. Take a couple of groundings here. Because these are so slow, they're pretty energetic. The opposite of what you would think. But yeah, there's a lot moving through the whole body. Good. Now our next move is going to be circles taffy. I like my feet a little bit more open. Once again, rider on horse position, and then I can negotiate this pretty well. So you start with your palms up. You're going to maybe bring the heels in a little bit closer than that. And you're going to be sinking and rising. And then you'll do a wind up and pull the energy towards that way. Left hand under, pulling us that way. Stand to inhale, prepare to sink. Sink and pull. Rise to inhale. Thinking that the grounding is maybe more important than the move. Ready? Here's the move. Once you've done that long, fairly exhale strong thing, this is why the inhale is so important. Inhale and sink. And we'll go back again. Sink. Wind up with your right underneath. Pull towards the right. Inhale to rise. And this is your grounding. It's very small. And then we inhale again and begin. Let's do 2 more. This is such great stuff. Ready? And last one coming up. Beautiful. So nicely done. All right, our next move is perpetual motion taffy. It's the 3rd variation of basic taffy. Sink, wind up, and you'll be adding a heel step. Lift the other heel, drop heel all the way down to the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, the toes, and sink again, and taffy it with whatever the upper hand is. It's going to move across the elbow, above it, through that hand, and down. It's called a heart protector move in Qigong. And that's all part of this, as these palms separate. And at the same time, you're shifting towards your right now, and then towards your left. Your left hand will be underneath. It's the invite hand. And then it's the other hand underneath. Switch. Which hand's over the elbow? Switch again. Two more. Perpetual motion taffy can go on a long time. Last one. Inhale and sink it through the earth with your exhale right here. Our next move is this one, a cross body move. Working the pulley. Your left hand is forward, your left leg is forward. And you're moving 2 circles, one forward and the other back. Not actually ever really moving that elbow so long that it's going to be over the head. So this is, spaciously speaking, shoulder to shoulder. Someone else is touching someone else's shoulder and then having them touch yours. And you can slide if you like on your front heel and on your back ball of the foot. Your choice. You just want to, whatever you do, keep the knee, ankle, and hip moving together so we don't torque anything. Have them move to the wrong side, right? Last one here. Good, let's bring that left foot back in. Inhale to sink it through the earth, and then we move to the other side. Working the pulley on your right side. Left hand will be underneath your hip bone. Right hand will come out from the heart and lung area. And your right foot comes ready. It's already yin back in front here and yang in back. So this back leg is solidly in the earth. And then you shift to bring the weight to the front leg. Do whatever you need to make it possibly a smaller forward back shift. Because you are crossing the body with this, and the legs need to be involved. all the way down to the ankles and the base of the foot. Last one here. Nice. Sink it down into the earth. First inhaling. And then a long exhale. To ground all the energy of the taffies and working the pulley. And now we come into light at the top of the head, followed by light at the temple or temples, singular or plural. Coming up to the crown of the head, which is the back of the skull, and sinking and rising, feet in a V, lengthen through the spine. This is when you let your light of all your thoughts, words, and actions come together in that light. After 3 times, you circle the palms, circling the energy of the Tao, masculine and feminine, all the opposites that we're working with in this practice. And 6 to 9 times, and then hold the energy there over that crown and sink and rise it. And let it go. 3 times. On the 3rd time, the palms begin to face the earth as you bring it down through the earth in a circle back to your heart with the left hand on the inhale coming through the central meridian. Release it down. Bring it to your temples. This is light at the temple. Feet in a V and sink and rise. Circle the energy. Hold it, inhale it. And sink and rise and let it go. Turn the palms down. Come around the circle. Bring it back to your heart, left hand still. Sink it down, central meridian. Prepare for joyous breath next. Let's double ground that one, okay? One more. Slow inhale. And slow exhale. Now we'll start joyous breath. Now you're going to inhale a lot of air and exhale it out 4 times, coming to the balls of the feet. Inhale. 4 exhales out. You're still on the balls of the feet. Now bring the heels down. This is supposed to be the most yan move we have, so make it very masculine and joyous. And slowly release it into the earth. We come now to passing clouds. All things change. This hand is up, this hand is down towards the earth. You might want to brush your elbows, in which case with this side-to-side weight shift, you'll be touching the elbow as you move. And last one of passing clouds. Bringing the palms up to ground it and shift it down on the exhale. Double ground this one. Our last move is the 6 healing sounds, which are Ho for the heart, Hu for the spleen, Su for the liver, Sh for the lungs, Shi for the triple heater, and Chui for the kidneys. This is aspirated, meaning that you don't make any vocal sound at all. But let's do it one vocal sound. Ho, Hu, Su, Sh, Shi, Chui. All right, now we're going to do it aspirated. For the heart, for the spleen, for the liver, for the lungs, for the triple heater, for the kidneys. Two more sets. Last set, 5 chuis. Heel step. Turn the palms over. Bring the feet together to circulate the energy. Coming into cosmic consciousness pose, your left heel on your right ankle bone. Making a big circle on the inhale. Your left hand will be closer to the heart. Connect the elbows externally. Lengthen through the entire spine. Bring the energy up as well as down through the feet. Hold this pose, looking through the window of eternity and over it. Interlocking the fingers in gratitude to our long lives and the many teachers before us. And with gratitude to Wen Shan Wang, the teacher of Justin Stone, and Justin Stone's T'ai Chi Chih. Thank you for your practice of T'ai Chi Chih and Qigong.